Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your TWitWoW monthly Q&A number 68. This is the February 2022 edition, and we only got 22 questions, but you know, it's a little short notice because we are going live earlier in the day, and I think it was only a 4-week turnaround, whereas last time it was a 5-week turnaround. And even last time when it was a 5-week turnaround, it was also a smaller Q&A. They're getting smaller and smaller, it feels like. And actually, I shouldn't say 22. It was 23 questions this week, or this month. So I figure if we get right into this, we can probably have this done by like 5:30, 6 o'clock at the latest. And then we've got plenty of time before we go live with Terminus at 8. How does that sound, John?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. I'm ready.
Awesome. First set of questions are from the guy that's already in chat, actually, Hypothesis. First question, how do you think WrestleMania 22 would have turned out if Muhammad Hassan wasn't canceled, Eddie didn't die, and Batista didn't get injured?
This is actually a really good question, Hypothesis. I feel like Eddie would have had the match with Michaels. I definitely believe in that Shawn Michaels rumor. Muhammad Hassan, honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if he was. Beg pardon?
Taker.
I mean, they were already kind of in a feud, so I don't know if that feud would have ended by Mania. That's a possibility. I was even going to say that I wouldn't be surprised if he was the world champion, like the world champion heel going into Mania. Maybe Batista beats him for it, because that's what you said, right? You said Eddie, Batista, and Hassan.
Yeah.
So I say you pair Eddie with Michaels, which was what the rumor was at the time. Either Michaels. The other rumor was Taker, oddly enough, but I think I would have preferred Michaels.
Yeah.
Just because I think their styles would have complemented each other brilliantly. And then I think Hassan would have been the world champion heel, and then Batista's the guy that just kicks his ass and he takes it back. So he wins a world title at back-to-back Manias because he won his first at 21 and then he regains it at 22. So, I could have seen that.
Was Eddie in the middle of anything when he did pass?
Well, he was in the middle of feuding with Orton and Batista, like, for the world title. Because he had just gotten done No Mercy, which was his last pay-per-view, and he faced Batista at that event for the world title that Batista retained.
Gotcha. Okay. And when was that in 05? That was like summer of 05, right?
Yeah, like fall of 05. It was more fall of 05. So like late summer, early fall, I think.
Okay. And then Muhammad Hassan. Oh man. I know that his whole thing was after, I want to say 7/6? I'm trying to remember when those London bombings were that led to the segment with him and the literal terrorists attacking Undertaker and shit.
Yeah.
That led to him being taken off the shows. Do you remember when that was?
I think that might have also been 05. It was a crazy
No.
time.
I know it was 05 for sure. I'm trying to remember the exact date.
It was probably summer of 05 around, because that, like, Hassan got written off TV permanently at the Great American Bash pay-per-view because he faced The Undertaker in a number 1 contenders match. For the world title, which they ended up kind of.
It was July 05. It was July 05.
Yeah, so I was right. Like, yeah, summer of 05. So yeah, I don't know how you could fit like all those pieces together, but that's just how I feel. Like, yeah.
And he lost to Undertaker at Great American Bash on July 24th, and was written off with Undertaker doing a last ride through an open stage ramp onto a concrete floor.
Yeah, exactly.
With the whole point there was to end the character. So if they didn't do that, if UPN hadn't pressured WWE to do that, if they hadn't gone full terrorist with his gimmick, I imagine he beats Undertaker in that match and then goes on to become a world champion for sure. I agree with you on that.
Oh, he had so much nuclear heat. It was fucking inevitable. I'm happy for the dude, because apparently now he's like a principal at an elementary school or something. It might be a middle school, and he seems to be living his best life, and good for that fucking dude. But, honestly, guys, I'm going to speak my truth here. I think UPN and just a bunch of forces outside of his control fucked him out of a lot of money, because I think he was getting ready to do some gangbuster programs. And, I know the heel doesn't make money from merch or anything, But I feel like he would have gotten a nice WrestleMania payday, especially if he went in as the world champion. They fucked him out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
I feel bad for that dude. I really do. But yeah. What about you, man? Do you more or less agree with my assessment? Do you want to move the pieces around a bit? What do you think, Batista?
I'm looking
Eddie,
at
if
it.
he
I'm
didn't die,
trying to figure out what I would do differently. I do agree that we would have Hassan as the world champion, but I don't think I would want him facing Batista because weren't they already involved in a feud in the fall?
In the fall of what, 05?
Or no, you said Eddie was in the thing with Batista and Orton in the fall of 05 before he passed.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But Hassan would have won the title off of Orton if he would have won the title.
Well, apparently Eddie was slated to win the title if he didn't die.
See, but I
That
just
was
read
the
on
rumor.
Wikipedia that Hassan was slated to win the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, dude, like, I think so much got fucked.
So I almost wonder if they would have had Hassan win the title at SummerSlam and then had Eddie beat him for the title as the babyface at some point before Mania, maybe in like December or maybe even at the Rumble or something along those lines.
Right.
And then I almost feel like we could have done like Eddie Batista at Mania and Hassan versus maybe like Rey Mysterio or something like that. Because if you remember, Mysterio was a part of the World Heavyweight Championship triple threat also involving Orton. Angle was the champion.
Yeah, and to be fair, I know a lot of people like to give Ray, and really I blame more the company and everything, like for his big world title push. But if you look at it, before they really took it gross and like milked Eddie's actual passing, there was this whole thing. I remember when because he ultimately won the feud, even though Eddie won the cage match. That was like a last desperate match, as far as I'm concerned. Ray won the feud definitively, and he was about to be named #1 contender until like a heel authority figure representing UPN was like, "Oh, Eddie's the challenger." So I almost wonder maybe we could have even ran back Ray and Eddie for the world title, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, now that I think about it, if Hassan would have beaten the Undertaker at Bash at the Beach in 05 and then gone on to win the world title and then lost the world title in such a way where he can't get a world title shot at Mania, it would have made all the sense in the world for him to challenge the Undertaker at Mania because it's like I already beat you. All I have to do is do it again at WrestleMania and I beat the streak.
Yeah, that's true too.
So that would have literally taken away arguably the worst Undertaker WrestleMania match of the millennium against Mark Henry.
Yeah, that casket match that they did.
Yeah, it could have still been a casket match, but it would have been against Hassan instead of Mark Henry. And then Mark Henry probably could have gotten something else to do. Maybe he does something with Batista. That could have been interesting. And then we
maybe because
back.
I think Batista did blame Mark Henry for his injury too.
Well,
so
that's
like
perfect. And then we could run back Eddie Ray, and then Orton and Angle could do their own thing, or they could. I don't even know what they would do. Maybe it would even be a 4-way: Eddie Ray, Orton, and Angle. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't say this in a blameworthy way, but it's amazing to me how much Eddie's death just upended fucking everything. Because I think too, if Eddie hadn't died, I think it was just supposed to be Orton Angle at that year's Mania for the world title. And to be perfectly honest, I think Orton would have gotten the title back. Like, because again, nothing against Ray. I put this all on WWE and them wanting to like fetishize.
That's right, because did Ray end up winning the Royal Rumble the next year, like 06? Or was it 07?
Yes,
it was
06. Yes.
So Eddie died, and literally within months they gave Ray the push.
Exactly, a push that I really do think was meant for Orton, like the whole fucking time.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Maybe people in chat disagree, but like Orton had just got done the feud with the Undertaker.
Do you remember what year it was that Orton did the promo about Eddie? About he's not in heaven, he's down.
Oh well, that was 06. That was like immediately after the Rumble. Yeah, that was like the.
Okay, so that's even more perfect. Then we do Orton wins the Rumble and he feuds with Eddie in the Mania.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And then Ray and Angle can do their thing.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. That would be what I would do. I would have Muhammad Hassan versus The Undertaker, Batista versus Mark Henry, Eddie versus Orton and Mysterio and Angle doing their own thing. I don't know if it would just be a one-on-one match or if they would get involved with something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we both gave good answers. That was a really substantive question.
Oh,
I
right
really
here.
like that.
Since I would have Ray and Angle get involved with the United States Championship program with JBL and Chris Benoit.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like that. Hey,
That would
I'm
actually
never
be a
gonna
nice little
promote. Yeah.
setup for Ray, and it would be almost like a foreshadowing for Ray and JBL's eventual, like, what was it, 17-second match at the One Mania that Ray beat JBL in that like embarrassed him.
I believe that was Mania 25 in his hometown or home state of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So there you go. That's what I would do.
All right. Good shit. Next question.
All right. Next question. From Hypothesis, how would you feel about a storyline revealing the real John Cena was replaced with a clone in 2005?
Literally fucking what?
I'm pulling the question up to reread it because I probably condensed it a little too much. He said, with the number of rappers talking weird shit about cloning right now, how would you feel about a storyline revealing that the real John Cena was replaced with a clone in 2005? So, if I remember correctly, 2005 was when we got rid of rapper Cena and we got fucking Marine Cena, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where he's coming from here, is that the rapper Cena was done away with and they replaced him with a new compliant clone that was all about the service and the military, which was perfect for their new foray into the Tribute to the Troops show every year.
Status propaganda. Yeah, no. I feel like it sounds fascinating on its face, but they'd fuck it up. Like, no, like, what's it gonna be? John Cena cutting a promo, and then another John Cena with the backwards cap is like, yo, and then Marine Cena's like, yo, what the fuck is happening right now? What the fuck? And then like, I don't know, rapper clone Cena just eats an AA, and he's like, it's not the AA, it's the FU, and it's just a stupid thing. I don't want it. I reject it. No.
I appreciate your ability to just outright reject everything about this question. I really respect it. I really do.
Next question.
Next question is which new Pokemon / form of a Pokemon do you think has the best design in Pokemon Legends Arceus? Now, John, I know that you're not familiar with this, so I will just send you some links so that you can get a better idea of it. Actually, I'm not even going to send them to you specifically. I'm going to post them in the chat. There's one. This is a really trusty site. There's two. And there's three. There we go.
Okay.
So these are the first list is the new Pokemon introduced, and they are all, I believe, new evolutions for already existing Pokemon. And then the second link is Hisuian forms of already existing Pokemon. And then the last link is new forms, like Origin forms and White Stripe forms and all that kind of stuff. Different forms that were introduced in the game.
I will say, just off the bat, immediately reacting, Arcanine looks really badass. Zoroark looks pretty cool, too. All right, and then the third link. You know what, Foster? It's okay that you don't like a lot of the new forms because your current form is fucking perfect. Love your face so much. Yeah, fucking compliment out of nowhere. Eat that, Orton. Fuck your RKOs. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say
Hisuian Arcanine.
My favorite. Yeah, Arcanine too. Yeah.
Oh like wait, that. You said Zoroark, didn't you?
Yeah, I said them and Arcanine. So you were right. You know, nice. I singled them both out, but yeah, they were both cool.
Yeah, Zoroark's really cool. I think my personal favorite. I do love Kleavor. I do think Kleavor looks cool as hell. But I think my favorite looking, like just design wise, new form is Hisuian Avalugg. I just think it looks so cool. It looks like a fucking glacier plateau. I love it. It looks neat as hell.
Nice.
So there we go. That was nice and easy. Just as long as we have that visual aid, it makes everything much easier. Next set of questions are from Brandon Best. His first question is just for me, and he wants to know if Batman could do anything to make me a fan, or is it impossible? I mean, look, there's a part of me that just wants to not like Batman now because people like Batman already and he's an asshole. But I guess, because here's the beautiful thing about comics, there are new continuities being written all the time. If there was a new continuity of Batman written where he basically wasn't actually Batman, where it was just Bruce being a genuinely charitable billionaire and like really helping to reshape Gotham and reform Gotham, and he starts, giving money to start building, actual useful like hospitals. Obviously, I know there's, Gotham General, but there needs to be more than one hospital in the city, and donating to schools to help with education. And I don't know, maybe he buys a few politicians and sets them on the right track and gets a few laws passed that help people of Gotham, maybe gets a little bit of a UBI going on in Gotham, some real help rather than going out and beating the shit out of people that he deems, criminals. That would be how Batman would become, someone that I could be a fan of. But as it is right now, the actual Batman character is a villain in my mind. So, next question from Brandon: are both of you fan houses of Danhausen? Fuck no.
He says, fuck no. I really haven't watched anything of him extensively, so I'm ambivalent on this question. Next question.
He's just so cringe in my mind. Third and final question from Brandon: who's your favorite movie director? He said, I'm a pretty big Martin Scorsese guy, and he did add his opinions on Marvel movies notwithstanding.
Scorsese's great. Scorsese's definitely great. I'm just gonna be the basic bitch, and I'm just going to give the director of my favorite film, Whiplash, Damien Chazelle. Now it's funny because he also did. Oh God, what was the fucking movie called that you and I didn't like?
La Land.
You cut out there. What was it?
La Land.
Oh, La La Land. Yeah, you kind of cut out again. I don't know what's going on in your mic there. But yeah, La La Land was really meh, and that I think won more awards than Whiplash did. And I think Damien Chazelle's actually he either came out with a new film recently or he's going to, and I am curious.
He does have a new film coming out this year.
Yeah, it's called Babylon, and also
Yeah.
I haven't seen First Man or The Stunt Double. I'd be curious what that's like.
He didn't both write and direct either of those.
Yeah, he only directed them, but yeah, he wrote and directed Babylon. That's gonna be interesting. Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
I am a Brad Pitt fan. I do like Brad Pitt as an actor quite a bit.
Yeah, he's hit or miss with me. And Margot Robbie, she's also I think hit or miss for me right now. But yeah, I mean, he made my favorite film ever. So I'm just gonna go with him. Ashton, what about you? Who's your favorite director?
That's a really good question, actually. There are a lot that I like. I really like the Coen brothers. I like Christopher Nolan. Obviously, fuck, what are their names? It's another pair of brothers that do all the Marvel stuff. Do you remember their names?
No.
The Russo brothers. That's who they are.
Okay.
Those guys are great. Taika Waititi, who...
Yeah, he's excellent. That's a great pick.
Taika Waititi's great. He's awesome. I do like Whiplash, but because we watched other movies by Chazelle and didn't like them, I can't really put him on my list.
That's totally fair. Yeah.
Obviously Spielberg, I think, should be on anyone's list. Ridley Scott, I really like his movies.
That was Alien and stuff, right?
He did do the Alien movies. Yeah, he did Alien. But not. I think I actually only did just Alien and then Prometheus and Alien Covenant. But I have enjoyed all three of those. Like I don't think he did the original Alien sequels like Alien 2, 3, 4, whatever. But he also did Blade Runner, which I want to watch, but the last time we tried to watch it, I couldn't get into it. He also did Hannibal. He also did American Gangster. He also did The Martian, which is a movie I do want to see. He also did The Last Duel, House of Gucci. Like, he's a really
Yeah,
fucking good director.
I'm about to put more respect on Ridley Scott's name. I didn't know that he had that kind of breadth as a director, because I
Yeah.
always thought he was very, like, I don't want to say niche sci-fi, right? But I always thought he
Right.
was like more sci-fi. But you said American Gangster, which I think was the Denzel Washington film, which I was a big fan
Yeah.
of at the time when I watched
Yep.
it
It sure
all those years
was.
ago.
Denzel and Russell
Yeah,
Crowe. Yep.
yeah, that was a great movie.
Nice.
I'll never forget what that movie. I don't want to take us too off topic, but I'll never forget what that movie. My grandmother left the room in like the first 30 seconds because it just opens with a guy being set on fire. And like my sister, and my dad, you know, in one of the few like fucking tolerable moments that he had, because you know there were times we would all watch movies together. We were like, "Whoa, cool!" And she just noped out of it so hard. It's like, no, I'm going in my bedroom and I'm reading my oldie magazines, and I'm just like, man, it's fucking great.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, I think I am just going to. I think I'm just going to settle on. You know what? Actually, I actually do have an answer for this. Let me just make sure that I get his name right. I don't want to fuck it up.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Um, shit. I forget his name. Adam McKay.
Name sounds vaguely familiar. What did he direct?
Adam McKay is my answer. He directed, well, early career Adam McKay, he directed Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. He directed
Excellent.
Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, The Other Guys, The Campaign. He also was the one of the writers behind Ant-Man. And then he got into the political shit. He directed The Big Short, Vice, and Don't Look Up.
Oh, damn. The dude's on a fucking roll.
Right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
answer. Adam McKay right now is my favorite director, period.
Your answer, what my answer's at. God damn. That's good shit. Oh, also, I actually would like to give one more answer if I may.
Sure.
Because I've got a new respect for this guy and his style, at least in seeing The Shape of Water. And I'm excited to see Nightmare Alley. Guillermo del Toro, I think, is very
Yeah.
interesting.
Who did Knives
definitely
Out? Because that was a great movie.
Who did Knives Out? That's a very good question.
Rian Johnson or Ryan Johnson.
I'm hoping the sequel's just as good.
He also did Looper, and that was a really cool movie too. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, dude. It's funny how our tastes at times can be very conventional with everybody else, but at times, like our taste, and I do mean like you and I specifically, can go against the grain. Because I feel like Looper came out at a time when everybody was like kind of burnt out on time travel concepts,
Yeah.
and you and I are like, no, give us that shit as long as it's done right. And I really felt like, yeah, it was good. I felt like people were too hard on that movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, what was the other? Oh, you know what? No. If we're talking about what actually had like the best like cinematography and shit, I gotta go with my boy Sam Esmail.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask what he did. Yeah.
Because like I genuinely do feel like the cinematography from Mr. Robot is the best in any show I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, dude, the tracking shots that they fucking pull off, just
Yeah.
one continuous scene, and some of the most tense moments of the show. Like,
yeah, and it literally, like, you've heard of the YouTube channel Every Frame a Painting?
yeah,
That's Mr. Robot. In Mr. Robot, every single fucking frame is just gorgeously shot. It's incredible.
yeah.
So, yeah, but I do think I'm gonna stick with my original answer of Adam McKay.
Good shit. Good shit. All right. Next question.
Let's see here. Next question is from Alex Cage. He wants to ask me, actually, specifically, he's asking me thoughts on Hook. I fucking love Hook. I think he's great. I would love to see Hook be an eventual TNT champion. I think he's really cool. I think he has kind of that like lightning in a bottle type thing that you really don't find super often in wrestling. And whenever you find it in WWE, they always squander it every single time. And AEW hasn't managed to do that yet. So I am very, very excited about the future of Hook. I think he's cool.
All right.
Next question from Alex Cage. John, is just for you. If you could erase one philosopher's work forever, whose would it be?
Oh God. This is difficult for me because I honestly hate that shit. Because I have colleagues that are like, oh, we shouldn't teach like Han Silvas or whatever. I agree with my surrogate father, Deleuze, one of my favorites, who says that a text, like, the importance of a text or any philosopher's work is like, what can it do? And more pointedly, I guess, for the person reading it, what can it do for you? Right. And so I believe that we can read every author. Like Plato still has relevance today because of how certain thinkers use him. And I'm learning that more recently. But if I had to pick, Ayn Rand never considered herself a philosopher, so I guess I wouldn't really count her.
I was even going to say you don't want to get rid of Ayn Rand because what could possibly replace her that would end up being worse, right? Like you've got to imagine the power vacuum would appear, and like someone that read her ideas and was like, yeah, I agree with all of this, that would actually take it further, didn't get published because she already existed.
Yeah. Hold on. This man's name is escaping me, but I just want to get it right. Oh God, I used to always say his name all the time too. I hate when I forget shit that should always be like at the top of my tongue here. No, because he only co-wrote it. But who is the philosopher? Oh God. Oh no, that's right. Giovanni Gentile. He was an Italian philosopher that people credit with like the kind of founding of the political idea of fascism. That Mussolini would kind of take some of his writings, add his own words to it, and then other like fascist intellectuals would come forward. But apparently, it started with Gentile. So maybe him. I think fascism would have been inevitable because I feel like human beings, they're at least back then, kind of experimented with different modes of living and governance and structure. So it's not like it would stop everything. But I am curious how the trajectory of Italian fascism specifically would have changed if he didn't get the ball rolling. So yeah, I'll say him. It's an obscure answer, but I've been in it 10 years, so just got to dig deep in my fucking bag there. For personal reasons, though, Peter Singer, because he's an ableist piece of shit, and I'd love to see him lose everything. But that's just, again, the personal grudge that I'm trying to work on, because, again, I really do believe that everything should be on the table. And I do mean everything, like Latin American philosophy, African philosophy, which a lot of white philosophers are like, that's not philosophy, that's poetry, or that's not philosophy, that's this. And it's just like, I hate you all so very much. But yeah, personal reasons, Peter Singer. If I'm giving a more general answer, Giovanni Gentile for Italian fascism, kind of getting the ball rolling there. Fuck him. So, next question.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Next question is from Liam Edmonds. And he just wants to know what our thoughts are on Seth possibly turning face. He doesn't like the idea because he loves Joker Seth, and he thinks the last time Seth was a face, how much of a disaster that ended up being.
Liam, I'm loving Seth's current run as well, what I see of it, because, again, most of the time with the programming that he's on, we're on the Discord doing game night. But sometimes, like, I will go back and I'll watch the YouTube clips of what he did. I'm enjoying it, too. The thing is, I'm not opposed to a face turn, and I only say that because crowd temperature changes all the time, right? What wouldn't have worked 3-5 years ago might work now because, the characters changed, crowd tastes change, all that stuff. So I do think, honestly, he'd be a more successful face this time around. And to be perfectly fair, he was a successful face up until WWE started giving him shitty fucking feuds. I remember Seth being very over in the upper mid card doing his stuff with the IC title. I think people were happy that he won the Rumble. People were definitely happy that he beat Brock for the Universal Championship. But when you stick him with fucking Corbin in a feud, and then you're just running back the Brock angle again, and you're making it seem like Seth has pro wrestling itself on his shoulders, it's a bit much. Like, if they would have replicated, and I know we've said this before, but it bears repeating, if they would have replicated the stuff he was doing in the upper mid-card, the matches with fucking Miz, Balor, and just having kind of that workhorse segment of the show, if they would have made that a universal title reign for him, I think he would have been wildly successful. But I think they tinkered with it too fucking much, and they cared too much about making Corbin happen when he was never going to fucking happen. So I think, given that WWE seems to understand that about Corbin, given that he's doing the stuff with, Madcap Moss, and he's the fucking hell away from Seth, I think if they were to try a face turn now, it would work. I'd actually be quite optimistic about it. Yeah, and you are right, Foster, that his Twitter did not help things at all. Yo, Brody, what's up? It's been fucking forever. Really glad to see you.
That's
Happy
Gordon.
belated birthday
That's
again.
Gordon,
Yeah,
man.
Gordon. Yeah, but I'm just going by his name here in the chat. But yeah,
Right.
Gordon, it's great to see you. Happy belated birthday again. I know your birthday passed a little bit ago. So yeah, I think it'd be successful. What about you, man? Do you think a Seth face turn would succeed or not?
I think at the very least you have to hold off until after Mania to pull the trigger on it, because I do agree that the current run is too good to not have some kind of Mania blow off.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really all I have to contribute. Next set of questions are from Super Blue. First up, how does it feel to be right about Ronda Rousey returning and winning the Rumble? It
Not
sucks. I
good.
didn't want to be
Yeah,
right about this. This is awful. I hate it.
I feel dirty and I hate myself. So yeah.
I won't go that far about, I don't hate myself. I hate Vince, really.
Yeah, I hate everything really, and since I'm a part of the set everything, then it still kind of works. But yeah, it's awful. It's fucking awful.
Yeah,
And
it's
no,
pretty
thank you.
trash.
Yeah, like she is.
Indeed.
San Diego truth or transphobic ass.
Yes. She would fit in perfectly. It would control your narrative.
Yeah, that's where she should have gone. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, next question from Super Blue. Should the U.S. help the Ukraine, or is this whole situation ultimately the U.S.'s fault by meddling with other countries?
God, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to speak too much about this issue because I am very ignorant on a lot of fronts, and I want to show intellectual humility in matters as precarious as this. However, I do just want to say one thing that I'm pretty fucking sure of, and I've been sure of for many years now, and that's that I'm against all kinds of imperialism, whether it's Russian, Chinese, American, and American interventionism never leads to anything good. I think what people aren't understanding, well, I want people to remember because I know wartime is emotional for a lot of people, and the U.S. always tries to frame it in very banal, basic moral categories of good versus evil. When they're talking about sanctions being imposed on Russia, that's not just going to affect Putin, and that's not just going to affect the forces that he has personally mobilized for his ends. That's going to affect everyday Russian people that don't even want this shit to happen. I have seen plenty of tweets showing throngs of Russian people gathered in the streets, clogging up stuff that they could go to jail for, by the way. Because I have been reading that, like even celebrities have spoken out against this and they're risking being banned from Russian TV for life. I've heard about like anti-war protesters just getting whisked away by police.
Yep.
So these sanctions that the U.S. is doing under the front of we have to protect Ukraine, I don't even really know if you're doing that for one, and you're affecting people that are essentially on your side, at least as it relates to we don't want a war here.
Yeah.
I will also say, in my personal opinion, because this is our platform, and I've been careful not to say it anywhere else, maybe I'm naive. I have had friends that are very concerned legitimately about nuclear war. I oddly enough don't share that concern, and I'm as anxious as anybody. Like I have really bad anxiety. Funny enough, my mind has not gone to this place, and I'll tell you guys the same thing I told my sister when we talked about it. I think every politician is inherently a narcissist. You don't build empires just so that you can see them turn to dust. I think they want to believe that, oh, I propagated something for my people to come or whatever. And they realize, like, oh, if we're all launching nukes, civilization is at its end. And then I have nothing. Nobody's going to remember me or anything like that because there will be nobody to do any remembering, period. So I think just because of the narcissism that's inherent in the political, I think nuclear war is off the table. Again, maybe that's my naivete. And, God knows. But I don't think it'll get that bad, but I do think that this is going to be a conflict where if we get into it, it could be another 10 years, could be 20. We don't fucking know. Who would have thought that Iraq would have lasted this long? And it was fucking 2001. And like, look how long that lasted, right? So again, just to reprise, I'm against imperialism on all sides. I'm staunchly opposed to American interventionism in any forms, including sanctions, because we have to remember who that fucking hurts. Put a face to these fucking policies and not just Vladimir Putin's. Because honestly, oddly enough, in some ways, he's the least important. There are plenty of Russian people that have the same concerns as you, me, Ashton, everybody that just want to live and get through their fucking day and that have said loudly, no war. America's hurting them too, whether they care. Well, obviously they don't care. I was going to say whether they realize it or not. Again, they probably do. They don't care. I credit every anti-war protester in Russia, every celebrity in Russia that has spoken out, when again they could get banned from Russian TV for life, and God knows if not worse. I am staunchly anti-Putin, but I also just want to say, in closing, before I hand it to Ashton, the problem with struggles like this to me is when you live in the imperial core like we do. Because again, ask Latin America how just they feel America is, right? The problem with that is, even if they were telling the truth, you're not really going to know what to take at face value. Like I saw one tweet that really broke the conflict down well. The U.S. feels one way. Russia feels like the U.S. hasn't honored all of its agreements. Honestly, I could see both. Like it wouldn't to me be a surprise at all to say that the U.S. violated some treaty or some article or whatever that they had in place in another country. They do that shit all the time. People talking about the UN, like, oh, isn't Russia violating international law? The U.S. violates international law for breakfast.
Yeah.
So don't. I guess what I'm trying to say, and I hope I'm not sounding like tinfoil hat conspiratorial here. I've really tried to be grounded in my remarks because this is a tough time for me too. Just figure out how I feel about all this. Don't get taken in. Don't buy into the moral justifications for war that the U.S. is propagating, because ask Syria what a white knight America is. Ask Latin America what a do-gooder of justice America is. They have interests too, and we shouldn't be pawns in their games. And like I said on Twitter, people don't wage wars, governments do.
Yeah.
So fuck both these governments. But I'm sorry, Ashton, that's really all I wanted to say. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm very I'm very much also very ignorant on the subject. So really, you already pretty much said more than I'm aware of. I do know we just watched that video from the Gravel Institute that basically showed us that NATO put weapons in the hands of Ukrainian Nazis. So at this point, I really don't know. I'm with you though. Pretty much everything you said: anti-imperialism, anti-interventionism, all that shit. Like, yeah, I'm right there with you on
Yeah, absolutely.
that.
All right.
Third question from Super Blue: what are your plans to update the Patreon tiers? Example: AEW Rampage reviews for the first tier. To be fair, I hadn't planned on updating them. I was just gonna let them go. But hey, if you guys want to come up with some ideas, I'm open to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are flirting with AEW a bit more again, now that Cody's left and their roster. I mean, they might even get Cesaro now. Who fucking knows?
Mm-hmm.
I know we have every intention to do Rampage tomorrow night at 7. Like Ashton and I have talked about that. So
No,
I know
it's going to be at 10. It is going to be at 10.
Oh, it is going to be at 10?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's either way though, does that mean we can still do Stardom at 5? Like what's happening there then? Because I guess I'm a little caught off guard. But I know you and I talked, right, about doing both Stardom and Rampage on Friday. So yeah, just the point, guys, that we are definitely opening ourselves up again.
I actually
to AEW,
do,
and it hasn't been.
I do have the Stardom show on the schedule at 4, but if you wanted to go at 5, we could.
Yeah, we can move that back to 5 if Rampage is going to be a 10 o'clock thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, we're definitely opening up to it, and yeah, but yeah, any suggestions you guys would have, we're open to it. That's cool. So yeah, that's that. Next question.
Next question: would you eat insects if it helps save the planet? Before John even says anything, I'm just going to tell you, John would eat insects even if it didn't help save the planet, and I wouldn't even if it did, but it wouldn't.
Perfect. Next question.
So I nailed that?
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
Perfect. Next question from Super Blue: with Cody returning to WWE, does this doom any chance of Edge versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania 38? I don't think so. No.
It doesn't doom it. I will say I don't think it's hyperbole to say it threatens it, because I think that's a different thing. Dooming is to say that, like, oh, they've just definitively gone this course. Threatening, I think, only implies that, well, Cody is a legitimate option now, so he's kind of crowding in on that field. So I agree with Ashton. Dooming, I think, is a bit hyperbolic. Threatens, yeah, that's definitely more plausible and grounded. So we'll see what they do. I really want Edge versus AJ, though. It's like the one match I've really wanted for Edge since the return, and WWE is like, no, just no. So yeah, we'll see. But unless you have anything to add, I'm good for the next question.
Next question is from Rotten Butter, and it is the first Rotten Butter question, and that's the big one.
Okay. Well, obviously, you and I, we usually do our games like Brawlhalla, Rocket League. Been doing a fucking a lot of YouTube contents and Olivia shorts. As far as music for me, I have discovered a few rock bands I like. Fame on Fire. I listened to this other group, Helmet, today. They had a song that was really good. I have to thank the YouTube channel Asylum Highlights. They're like a wrestling MV channel, which, like, God, that's fucking nostalgia ridden because I wasn't doing that shit for like so long. But yeah, it's good shit, and it's introduced me to a lot of good music. So yeah, I'm trying to stay in touch more with like rap stuff too. I know NLE Choppa's coming out with some good stuff. God, I love him. He goes so hard. I know, Ashton, I sent you something. I forget what the artist's name was, but he did a rap about his mom, but it wasn't like the gratitude type rap that I'm used to about moms from rappers. It was more like, oh, you had another child that you loved more than me. Here's what I did with all that neglect. So I forget what his name was, but that song was fucking fire. Obviously been doing my nerdy shit with philosophy, reading a lot of good stuff there. With the family, I've watched the reality show Love is Blind. Oh my God, it's so good. So good. In fact, we're also watching the Brazilian version, and there's a Japanese version that I also want to watch.
Wow.
So it's got me by the balls. It really does. I'm not ashamed to say it. It's got me by the fucking balls. So doing that. Brooklyn Nine-Nine a little bit. God, what else? I know Chris has been trying to get me to watch the sci-fi show The Expanse. I promised him that I would. In exchange, he said he would watch some of BoJack, which I'm excited about. I fucking love BoJack Horseman so much. We've been watching South Park. Obviously, there was no new South Park this week. Peacemaker, we finished that up, so that was great. Did we finish? Oh my God, I can't believe I already forget the show and we just watched it. Hold on, let me look up my search history.
Peacemaker?
No, because I just said Peacemaker. The Gifted. Did we finish The Gifted this month?
Yes,
or was that last month?
We did.
Yeah, so The Gifted was another big thing. I know eventually we'll probably rewatch Righteous Gemstones season 1 because I've heard good things about the second season so far, so I'm excited for that.
Bel Air?
Oh my God, new episode tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't fucking wait for that shit. Oh my God. Guys. Bel Air is so good. I am really enjoying that. Carlton as a potential supervillain. Wasn't expecting them to go that hard, but honestly, I'm curious. I'm really curious.
Yeah, in my mind, like the first half of the first episode is really intense. But if you can get past that, like if that isn't necessarily your thing and it wasn't mine, but if you can get past that, basically get through the end of the first episode and it'll hook you and make you want to watch more. That's all I can say.
Yeah, definitely. Because, again, the funny thing about the first half is it's pretty much playing out the fucking lyrics to the opening song.
Yes.
In but then
West
when
Philadelphia, I'm not going to do the whole thing. We're not getting copyright struck, but yes.
Yeah, okay, yes. But yeah, when he gets to Bel Air itself, like, and I love the character updates. I love Aunt Viv.
Uncle Phil.
We're going to talk about Uncle fucking Phil. I just have to go out of my way. I know this is about everything we did in a month, and you can tell that I really love Bel Air, clearly. I'm actually pleasantly surprised how much I loved it. By the way, we also did the Cuphead show, and it was good. It was good. I think that's the kind of show that I would still watch with Ashton. Exactly.
Like the Looney Tunes was. Yeah, let's be real.
Exactly. But yeah, back to the fucking greatness that is Bel Air. Uncle Phil, man. James Avery was big fucking shoes to fill. Because the dude could do serious moments like nobody too. Like if they wanted to do the original Fresh Prince as a drama, they probably still would have casted his ass. Because he's that fucking talented. Yeah. So it's like, man, you're stepping up to bat on probably the biggest role on this show, save for Will himself. And I also think the actor playing Will is not bad at all. But Uncle Phil, man, honestly, my two favorite updates are Uncle Phil because it's a cool guy. He seems understanding.
And Jeffrey.
And fucking Jeffrey. I didn't do it, but I was so tempted to write my own rap in the spirit of Bel Air about Jeffrey. Hold on, I need to see something real quick because I did have one bar that I had in my head that I've wanted to write down, but I wanted to make sure that I use the word accurately. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I was. I want. I want Jeffrey to do a rap on this fucking show. Give him the fucking intro. And I don't know how they'd work it in, but I'd like him to say something like, oh, and someone tried messing with the family. He was quite a knave. So me and my friends introduced him to a 6-foot grave. Dun, 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 dun. And it's like, yeah, he's the fucking fixer. It's amazing. Jeffrey probably got my favorite update of anyone. Smooth and classy as fuck. Look, I'm gonna tell you all right now. Forget the original Fresh Prince. Jeffrey in this version, this guy fucks. Okay, he fucks, and it's amazing. I love it. I really don't even remember anything else I did beyond that, but I think Bel Air was by far one of my favorite things we did this month. I know. Well, we did do Knives Out this month. That was a great fucking movie. Goddamn. What's the actor's name that does fucking Captain America and that was in that?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. I knew it was Chris something, but the last name was never going to.
There are just so many Chris's in the MCU.
Yeah, Chris Evans, man, I gotta put respect on that motherfucker's name too, because he plays such a convincing fucking asshole. I'm like, wait a minute, you're a Captain America.
Yeah, it's so funny too because after that night, my mom and I were watching like random old teen comedies on the streaming services, and one of them was Not Another Teen Movie on Netflix, and Chris Evans is in that, and he plays the main dude, and he's an asshole until he's not.
Yeah. Goddamn, man. Goddamn. Yeah, I have nothing else to add, man. You can take over for this question because I know you do things separate from me. So anything you'd want to add, feel free.
Well, I did just mention that my mom and I were watching teen comedies. The only other one that we watched was John Tucker Must Die, which is a fun one.
That's a good one.
I really wanted to watch Fired Up, but it's not available on any streaming services that we have, so that was unfortunate. And I didn't want to fight with Go Watch Series. I'll probably do that eventually, but I did play a little bit of Lost Ark, not a lot. I played maybe like an hour, maybe 45 minutes of it, and it's cool and I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like really into it, you know? So I do want to give that another try. Let's see. I played maybe 15, 20 minutes of GTA 5 and then it crashed, and I was just like, okay, it doesn't want me to play it today, so I'm just not going to play it today. As far as watching stuff, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh, John. We watched all of season 0 sub.
Yes.
And we've gotten through a majority of season 1 subbed. We're almost done with season 1, actually. I think there's maybe like 6 or 7 episodes left of season 1 before we get into like the fucking virtual shit and then the fucking Dungeon Dice Monsters shit, and then we actually get to the arc that I like, which is Battle City. I love that shit.
Yes, dude. Yes. Subbed Bandit Keith is the best of all time. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry, everyone, that I'm so weird, but I'm telling you right now, I'm never getting help.
Oh, for those of you that haven't seen it, John is freaking out because the way that Bandit Keith reacted after losing to the child that Pegasus recruited from the stands and gave a note on how to beat Keith in the finals of that big tournament was literally, he was like, oh my god. And it was like the way that John and I have been doing it. I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to trigger John's laughter again. But
18 minutes and 58 seconds, people, if you want the best time of your fucking life. Episode 16, I have it bookmarked.
Oh my god. So there you go. John cracks up at the mere thought of it, much less actually hearing it. But we got through, the last thing that we finished was Joey's duel with Bandit Keith in the semifinals of the actual tournament in Duelist Kingdom, and he won. And then, you know, Pegasus ejected Keith because Keith, I don't think this was actually in the dub version. Keith holds a fucking gun up to Pegasus's head.
And no, if I could just say something, if I could just say something serious about that, yeah. I've gathered myself, I promise. Why I love the subbed, and it's just the little things. they're able to do that because you're right. Yeah, they totally edited that in the dub. Fucking 4 kids, man. But then, like when Pegasus looks in their minds, like Joey and Keith, in the subversion, they actually show Keith drinking and gambling. They cut out him actually drinking alcohol in the dub. So I love that because it doesn't seem like much. And there are things I'd give the dub credit for. For example, I told Ashton when we got to the labyrinth, the duel with the Paradox Brothers, I actually kind of give the dub the edge on that because they actually went the extra mile of making the Paradox Brothers rhyme. There is no rhyming in the sub, so I feel like that's clever. Maybe a bit cheesy at times, but I dig the effort. But yeah, I should continue. I just wanted to say that it's cool that the sub does little things that you don't see in the dub at all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then Pegasus ejected him and he got sent out. Whatever. So the next thing that we're gonna get to is the big battle between Joey and Yugi.
Yeah, they did the whole soundtrack in the W. Remember that? The whole fucking song that they play in the little, like, not necessarily music video, but like video package, like recapping their whole journey as friends up until that moment.
Yep.
Cheesy as fuck, man. God damn.
Yeah, and like, it's also worth noting we shouldn't be calling him Joey because we're watching the sub version, so it's Jonochi.
Yeah, guys, I just have to say, fucking, he has me dying. I mean, not just Keith. Ashton does a great dub Joey impression. Oh God. And Serenity is Shizuka in the sub, so that's something. But yeah, it's a great time. We're all having fun. It's great. Yeah. Sub is weird too because it's Pegasus Crawford and not just like
Pegasus J. Crawford instead of Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah. Oh man, it's fucking weird, man.
All right. Music wise, it's not really a new discovery, but I have been listening to Meet Me at the Altar's EP that they dropped last year. It's fucking excellent. If you're into like melodic metalcore type music, like old Killswitch Engage with Howard Jones and like, I guess I don't really know how to explain it. Five Finger Death Punch, I think, used to kind of fit this genre. I don't really know if they still do. Atreyu, like more recent Atreyu, like do you like that kind of music at all? Check out Meet Me at the Altar. It's really good shit. They've got like the fucking double bass thing going on. It's just so good. I get so into it. I've also been listening to a lot of Machine Gun Kelly. He put that album out, man. Downfall's High, and it is such a good pop punk album. It's crazy. Like I never liked Machine Gun Kelly when he was in rap. I never liked his music. I still to this day don't necessarily like him as a person. He seems like a real piece of shit, a real dickhead at least. But his music is so good. And Willow, I Feel Everything is the album that she just put out. I listened to that a couple times. By the way, the name of the EP that Meet Me at the Altar have out that I've been listening to is called Model Citizen. It's really good. Also, I've had Tuva Stidike Phase this month. If you're not familiar with her name is spelled TovestyRke. She's Swedish, and she has an I guess it would be more of an EP than an album out called Sway, and it is just bops beginning to end. I actually played the whole thing while John and I were playing games the other day, and he enjoyed it. So that gives you an idea.
Yeah, it was good shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I was on an Arctic Monkeys kick earlier this month. Their album AM is a fucking masterpiece. Thanks to Peacemaker, I have Wigwam's album Nonstop Rock and Roll on my Spotify now, which the opening song of that album is Do You Want to Taste It? It's amazing. And I think that's the extent of the music that I've been listening to. I do have that Pop Rising playlist, which I enjoy, but that's like single songs rather than whole artists, so I don't really like talking about that. Let's see. Are there any other movies that we could talk about, or TV shows, or anything like that? I don't think so. Not that I want to spend the time to find, actually.
Oh, I guess one more thing I'd add for me, because this is a bit more obscure, at Ashton's behest, and I actually did it and gave him live reactions. I read Max Landis' Superman run that he did,
American
comics-wise.
Alien, yeah, it's so
American
good.
Alien. Yeah, that was really well done. I have to give him credit for that. That was good shit. So yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. Can we move on to the next question, or did you want to think of anything else?
I think we can. I think we can.
All right.
There were a lot of trailers this month, but we didn't watch all of them. We also got news that Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, and The Defenders, every one of those series is gonna be on Disney Plus starting on the end of this month. Or actually, no, starting on I think it was like March 15th or 16th or something like that. 16th, March
Yeah, I
16th.
think that's right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they all are leaving Netflix in 4 days on the 28th, and they're all coming to Disney Plus on March 16th. How fucking dope is that?
That is pretty fucking dope, yeah.
Oh god, we gotta figure out a way to distinguish them from the other shows without calling them Marvel Netflix series anymore because they're not technically Netflix anymore.
Yeah.
God, how do we do that?
I don't know, but we'll have to figure it out.
All right. Next question. If we assume all Bible stories are true, does the Tower of Babel prove that God is a punk ass bitch who fears the entirety of humanity?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I won't
actually don't
even
know what
hesitate.
the Tower of Babel even is.
You want me to give you a Cliff Notes version?
Sure.
Yeah, so it's pretty much all these people coming together that share, a common tongue, coordinating efforts to build a tower to, reach God. God, realizing, oh my God, they're actually succeeding in doing this, creates different languages, and he makes different people start speaking, different tongues. And I don't know if he scatters them across the world. I don't know if he goes that far, but I know for a fact that he makes them speak different languages, and that's how we have all the different languages from English to Chinese to Japanese. If you look at it mythically and biblically, it was so God could thwart the Tower of Babel from being completed because they were really close. And he's like, well, no, got to put the kibosh on that, and that's how we got foreign languages. So,
Wow.
yeah, what a mark. Like he really is like just a typical fucking supervillain. No, I created you. No, you can't do this to me. Well, it's happening. Get over it. I mean, foreign languages are fucking awesome. I'm envious that I'm hopelessly monolingual, and I'm super proud of Ashton that he's picked up even as much Japanese as he has. But if it was true, and obviously we're both atheistic, we kind of reject that account, obviously. But if it was true, I'd still square up and be like, you a bitch. So yeah, hope you can understand that. Single snap. He doesn't deserve a triangle snap.
He doesn't deserve any snaps from you, my friend.
Yeah, you're damn right. Thank you, sir. All right, next question.
Well, I think our next question is going to be, are you aware of the power of shadows?
No. I'm going to stop overthinking how to answer these questions, and I'm just going to keep it to yes or no. Yeah, no, I'm not aware. Teach me. Teach me.
Thanks to watching all this Yu-Gi-Oh, we're well aware of the power of the shadow game.
Yes! Oh, so good.
Yami no game. All right, let's get to our next singular question, which is from your boy Angel.
Oh, I like this one.
Despite wisdom on YouTube, we haven't seen him in chat in a little while, but when he's there, that's what he goes by. Is there any wrestler either of you feel like you have to see them perform live before they retire?
Angel, answering this question in the context of I could see anyone, like I'd have the capability to, two names that immediately come to my mind are Kyrie and Suzuki. Like, because I would be, to say I'd be honored to see either one of their last matches would be an understatement. Obviously, before those guys, like when my fandom first started, one of the biggest regrets in my life was that I never got to see Benoit either wrestle or just meet him at a signing or whatever and just kind of tell him the impact he had on me. But if we're looking at contemporary, like, yeah, it's Kyrie and fucking Suzuki for me, without a doubt.
Nice.
What about you, bro?
I actually have three.
Ooh, I'm curious to hear these three.
Well, one of them should be pretty obvious. It's EO.
Yes.
And really, at least one of the other ones should also be obvious. Danielson and Styles.
Danielson, yeah. Eo and Danielson. Not even Styles is really surprising because you and I have always given him his credit as a performer. So
Dude,
yeah, that
I
makes
have
sense.
wanted to see AJ Styles wrestle live since like, good lord. I had this revelation in like 2012 or 2013 when I was talking to a coworker about wrestling. I basically told him the only wrestler right now that I would pay to see live is AJ Styles.
Yeah. Damn.
So yeah,
Uh,
that's my
all
answer
right.
for three. Uh, Next up, we've got our 5 questions from Foster, and this is our final set of questions for the Q&A.
Excellent. Let's do it.
First up, if you were a part of a Mafia-style faction with Tony D'Angelo, what would your cheesy Mafia nickname be? Let me actually make sure that I copy this down right. What would your cheesy Mafia nickname be to me? So to Foster. What would Foster call us?
Hmm. Hmm. I know half of mine would be Johnny. Because Johnny can have like a mafia kind of Italian like vibe. Like
Johnny.
Johnny the Bull of Stamboli, in WWE.
I love it. Yeah.
Um,
Oh god. He was like that was part of his gimmick, right? He was supposed to be like he was FBI, wasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
full-blooded Italians.
Yeah.
So fuck, fuck.
Part of me wants to call you like Johnny Cloverfield or something like that.
Yeah, Johnny Turn Up, because I'm always like fucking turning up when I do. Guys, let's rob this bank. We haven't even what? No, like go do some more coke. So yeah, maybe Johnny Turn Up, just because it really fucking works. I know,
And
like
then you're
in
just like,
Goodfellas.
no, come on, I'm tired of Coke. I'm ready to move on to shrooms.
Yeah. So yeah, Johnny Turn Up, I think would be my mom's name. What
That's
about you, bro?
actually adorable, Johnny Turnip.
What do you got?
Because it works because it's a flower too.
Yeah, aw, that's true. I'm delicate.
You're a delicate little psychopath.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, what would my Mafia nickname be? That's way more difficult because I don't have a catchy first name that you could turn into a part of it. Do you have any opinions here, John?
Oh man. Ah, Ashton.
I don't want my actual name to be part of my nickname.
Well, yeah, no, because I'm just thinking about your name, and then I'm thinking like, well, let me ask follow up. Like, is there a derivative of your name that you'd be comfortable with? Like,
No.
because that's kind of what I did, right? Like, Johnny's kind of a play off of John.
Yeah.
So there's no derivative or anything for
No.
you.
No.
No, that makes it difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really difficult. No, I don't think so, Alex. I don't think so.
You could always go into like the sort of silly subversive nicknames and call me Tiny or something like that.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. God, we'd be amazing. We'd run this whole block, this whole tri-state area. Yeah, I do like the subversive route. Is there anything else we could be subversive about?
I really don't know. I'm so bad at this. I
Yeah.
literally, Foster, what you need to understand about me is when I catch a Pokemon, I will literally sit there for 15 minutes trying to figure out what I want to nickname it. This is not a good question for me.
Yeah. We can move on to the next question if you want, just so that we don't have dead air.
Just name a song you like from a genre you don't.
This question was made for you. You can go first on this fucking shit.
What? I wanted to hear yours.
Well, you have the iPod syndrome, and I need a moment to think.
I have the iPod syndrome, but like, I don't. Doesn't that make it
Use your
harder for me?
sickness to
Because
benefit me right now.
what
I
genre
am
do I not like though? That's the problem. What genre do I not like?
Even if there's a genre that you don't necessarily not like, there's got to be a least favorite. You've got to have a hierarchy of taste, I would imagine.
I do. I mean, I tend to prefer like pop, dance, and like sometimes rock music, but I like some rap and I like some. Well, country is like my least favorite genre. I will say that.
Yeah,
So
mine as well.
I guess like God, but did they old Shania Twain songs that were like country songs, like "I'm Gonna Get Ya" and like "Man, I Feel Like a Woman," like that kind of stuff. I even to this day I enjoy that music, even though I'm not a country fan. But those are also like very poppy country songs and very like dancey country songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I feel like it's not fair to say that, even though it probably really is.
I really thought you'd be able to answer this question pretty quickly, so I will just answer and give you more time. "Anywhere with You" by Jake Owen. That is a country song. It's one of the few country songs. I listen to it very rarely, but when I do, I don't hate it. It's whatever. And yeah, I dig it. I once heard it in the truck. I was on the road with my uncle, who that's a whole other nightmarish can of worms. And yeah, I just kind of vibed with it. I'm like, this is not bad relative to other country songs I've fucking heard. So yeah, I'll go with that one. It's straightforward enough.
Yeah,
So
I
you
can't
just want to
really
go with
think of any
Shania Twain,
genres that I outright hate.
old
Outright
Shania Twain
hate.
songs?
I don't think there are any genres that I just outright hate. I would say like anthem, like arena
Wait, are you still
country.
there?
Can you not hear me? Oh, yeah, he hung up. All right, he's gonna call back. There we go. Hello.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah, do you want to just go with the old Shania Twain songs?
I was saying I don't know if there are any genres that I outright hate. I would say the closest thing is like arena country, like stadium country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if there are any songs from that genre that I don't hate. So I think yeah, I think we'll just go with like country as like a generic. And I will also I'll just throw in Jolene by Dolly Parton. I like that song too.
Oh, cool, cool.
And I don't know, would this count as country? Um oh, what's the name of that song? Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. I don't know if that counts as country, but I love that song too.
I've never heard it. I honestly wouldn't know, but
You
yeah,
probably have heard it, you just don't know that.
yeah.
Second though, or third, I guess, question from Foster: what wrestlers that you like would you not want to play Monopoly with?
This is what I like, but I don't want to play Monopoly. I mean, given that I like a
Suzuki?
lot of heels, Suzuki. I mean, God, I wouldn't want to steal a property from him, would you? Fuck.
No.
Uh, he'll leave you a whole other kind of destitute. Kevin Owens, I guess, because I know he has a complex, so I don't think he would take losing well, and I couldn't really bear that on my conscience. So I'll say Kevin Owens.
Do you think that you would be able to beat Kevin Owens in Monopoly to cause that to happen?
Are you trying to get to start Twitter beef between me and Kevin Owens so that we trend? I mean, because I could
No, I'm more
outright say
wondering
yeah.
like if we're thinking about all possibilities, how do you think he would handle beating you? If he would win, do you think it would be as bad?
I mean, I can't back down. Yeah, I could beat Kevin Owens in Monopoly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd beat fucking Kevin Owens. uh, but but yeah, I mean, I think he'd be like increasingly antagonistic if he was losing, and that would definitely intimidate me. I definitely agree with you on Suzuki.
I would really say
Um,
anyone who I'm intimidated by, anyone that scares me that I like. You know, Suzuki, Ishii, Shingo, um, anyone along those lines. Brock, obviously, who's an amazing wrestler, but I don't want to play
I
anybody
mean,
named him.
obvious answer for me as somebody that's still kind of a fan of the guy, MJF, just because like if he was losing, he would just remind me of how actually wealthy he is, and then
Dude,
that would just make me feel pretty
that
shitty.
promo he cut last night had me so fucking angry. I swear to God.
I actually really liked it. I went back. I've watched it 3 times now. So you and I had very opposite reactions to that promo.
You're a
But yeah,
fucking heel. Why are you trying to garner sympathy?
I we shouldn't get into that now because that's totally unrelated to Foster's question. But yeah, I had a totally different reading of the promo. Um,
I'm very curious. I want you to tell me that when we're done here what it is, because I'm very curious.
okay. But yeah, those are all the answers I feel good about giving. You know, so
I'm trying to think of other reasons for not wanting to play Monopoly with someone other than just I'm intimidated by you and I wouldn't want you to beat my ass if I beat you.
right.
How about Natspoi?
Aw,
Because, well, dude, it's actually pretty layered here. She's adorable, so I would want to take it easier on her. But she's also very devilish and mischievous. And I feel like she, more than most people, would be willing to cheat in a game of Monopoly to get ahead. And she's the type to, rub it in if she beats you at something.
yeah, that's all very true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she's the best answer I can give if we're disqualifying the whole I don't want to play you because I don't want you to beat me up if I beat you kind of reasoning.
Right.
So, all right. Fourth question from Foster: if Shinsuke and Rick Boogs formed their own chaos-like faction, who would you want to be in it?
Shinsuke and Rick Boogs forming their own chaos-like faction. Um, Before Cesaro left, I would have loved to have said him because I actually liked him and Shinsuke as a tag team, and Cesaro could be like their quintessential Ishii. Um, but he's gone. Well, I mean, technically, it seems like he left today, so I don't know. I still kind of want to count that answer because it was just so sudden. But let me think.
Technically, this question was asked after Cesaro left.
Oh, that is true. Damn, you really fucked me there, Foster. Yeah, I don't. Maybe Braun Breaker. You know, I'd go with that because I would want somebody to be like the muscle of the group. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
Austin Theory. I think would be an interesting fit because he doesn't have the personality, but he's like this athletic upside prospect like Okada was when he first joined.
yeah, very very true, very true. I like your no, I think that was in reference to the Monopoly question. You said Zach Gibson, but honestly, Grizzled Young Vets just as a tag team as a part of that faction, that could be interesting. So Braun Breaker, Grizzled Young Vets. I do want to get a little bit of diversity in there because it's just one Japanese guy and a lot of white guys. Hmm. You know what? Fuck it. I mean, I wouldn't want to break up the New Day, and I don't think you'd have to, but I'd actually like to see Xavier Woods in a faction like that. I think like he's got a lot of charisma. I like how he works in the ring. I think Xavier would be a good fit. Who else? God, if WWE didn't let go of so many like really talented performers, I could say somebody like Keith Lee. Honestly, would have been another one if he hadn't left, or if WWE hadn't released him. Really, I shouldn't put it on him. WWE released him; they're at fault here. Um, so yeah, Rick Boogs, Shinsuke, Unbreaker, Grizzled Young Vets, Xavier Woods. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut myself off there. I want to see some of the names you come up with.
I feel like GYV doesn't really fit with Chaos. I feel like they're too heelish, and Chaos is more of like a neutral faction,
Yeah.
leaning babyface. Um, so I'm gonna just stick with what I've assembled so far, which isn't much. We've already got Nakamura and Boogs. I added Austin Theory. I'm gonna throw in Chad Gable. Um, Actually, let's add both members of Alpha Academy. Let's add Chad and Otis. Let's add both those guys. I think they fit. And like I know they're heelish now, but we've also seen both of them be very effective baby faces. So I think they can just kind of ride that line. I'm trying to think of who all is in chaos. I think now that he might be babyface, Ridge Holland, I think, is an interesting ad.
Ooh, I like that one. That's a good pick.
Um, because he is heelish, but not necessarily full blown like evil heel right now. I think Seth Rollins is a really good fit for this faction.
Yeah, yeah.
He kind of brings that Toru Yano goofy energy as well with this Joker deal that he's been doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so we've got Theory, Alpha Academy, Ridge Holland, and Rollins. I think I'm gonna only add one more. I'm trying to think if I want to add a person or a team. Um, God, there's. He didn't say just WWE. I really feel like FTR would be great in a chaos-like faction.
Yeah, they are really good.
Yeah. So if that's okay, we'll do that. If it has to be from WWE, I understand why you went GYV now because that's a really good pick. But I'm going to say MSK because I feel like they fit there really well too.
That's cool. I would say the only other name that I would add. Let me just recap here. It was Boogs, Nakamura, GYV. I said Xavier Woods. Oh, and I also said Braun Breaker. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think Cameron Grimes would work. I like Duke Hudson, but again, I want a bit more diversity. Like, I don't want it to be like, again, all these white guys, even if they are really talented at what they do, and they are. There was a name that I thought of, and I wish I would have just come right out and said it because now I lost it again. Cesaro left. Damn, I actually really like this name that I came up with because when I think
Sheamus?
about chaos, not Sheamus. No, it was somebody that I was
Sheamus would be the
really.
perfect Goto, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. I don't know who the name was. Not Carmelo Hayes, although I think Carmelo's great. Um, yeah,
Maybe
it
Angel
just
Garza.
not Angel Garza. No, yeah, it escapes me unfortunately. I don't know who I was thinking of, but it wasn't Veer, even though I know Veer's coming. Oh, I remember. In the bottom of the fucking eye, I just got it. Fucking Jey Uso. I think Jay would be great in fucking Chaos. I miss his singles run, man. I really can't believe that he was so good. It made me low key not want the Usos. And the Usos are an amazing fucking tag team. But I'd like to see Jay as a single star, a part of a broader faction where he doesn't get treated like shit. So yeah, Jay Uso I think will be my final pick.
All right. Final question of the Q&A. What features would you want in the perfect wrestling game?
Um, Since you just said features, I'm not going to give this grand overarching thing because I know we've talked about like making games before, and I think I even did like a wrestling game thing where like you get somebody and you grind out on indies that WWE has made up. Then you go to NXT, then you do this, and maybe there's even like you do a side branch thing where maybe you get injured, but you have to be a part of the rehab and you have to allocate your EXP accordingly. I know I did a question like that and I went in depth, and I know Foster, you loved it. If we're just talking about features, a season mode, again, I'm a simple guy. I don't like these like really specific stories with just one character. It's cool and I appreciate the effort, but I just like taking somebody that I like and doing things with them that the company isn't. Oh, I'm Kevin Owens. Let me go after the world title. Stuff like that. I do like, and see, it's funny because a lot of the things that I would list, I think, are already a part of the 2K series. I just don't know if it's done well, and that's why I'm tentative about putting money down. Because I like the idea that they have like a community creation center where you can download things. That's why I love Fire Pro so much, because you go in what they call the workshop, and people have made models of like Guerrero, Benoit, Angle, and I downloaded a shit ton. Same thing with community creations. If there's somebody that didn't make the cut, either for good reasons or poor ones, you could just download the community creations, because I don't know how many people from the cut roster are even going to make the game. So people are going to want to download their own Keith Lee or their own John Morrison or whatever. I know I certainly will. So definitely a workshop like hub, community creation like hub, finisher creator, an actual GM mode. Early reviews for 2K22 make it seem like GM mode's kind of weak. Like they brought it back, but it wasn't exactly what people wanted. And that's disappointing because I'll tell you, when I got older, I appreciated GM mode a lot more. I used to love competing with Raw and putting on better matches than them. I think I only won GM mode one time. It was a hard mode for me to win. It would probably still be hard for me to win. But that's why I liked it so much, because I feel like it genuinely challenged me. So a genuinely good GM mode. Did he say WWE game or did he say wrestling game more generally?
He said wrestling game.
Interesting. All different kinds of match types. Like, I wish there were wrestling games where it was like not only casket matches and inferno matches, which I know some WWE games have had, and then others just axe them, but also like, I don't know, King of the Death matches where it's like, oh, fucking timed mines in the ring and barbed wire. I know Fire Pro has hardcore matches like that, and I actually quite enjoy it. You know, so a variety of match types. Hell, if you want to take it to the extreme, maybe a customizable match type. If you're customizing superstars and championships and all this other stuff, why not the match you want? Maybe you can make your own matchup where it's like 2 out of 3 falls and third fall's buried alive, but the other one's like, oh, you got to fight on the top of this roof and first one to get thrown off wins. I don't know, go fucking nuts with it. So it's like an open world kind of match creator type of thing where the possibilities are endless. Yeah, I think I'll cut myself off there. So match creator, season mode that's just a general season mode, not trying to be cute, general straightforward GM mode, and yeah, I think I'll just keep it to those 3 things. And I would like more of an open world feel if you're making a creator wrestler. Again, you do everything from indies to rehabbing injuries, but we are a long way off. I don't know if we'll ever get a game like that, but that would be really fucking immersive. I would really enjoy that.
Yeah, since he did say the perfect wrestling game, I'm going to be a little more ambitious here, and I'm going to go way over the top if that's okay with you.
That's fine with me, and I'm sure it's fine with fucking Foster, so go.
So, in my mind, the perfect wrestling game is the wrestling game that presents any wrestling fan with the experience that they want, right? And what would people want out of a wrestling game? Well, some people just want to fuck around and have wrestling matches. Some people just want to like bring friends over and pick wrestlers from a predetermined list of potential people they could pick and choose a match type and then just go fight each other in the ring. It's just like fun casual stuff, right? Some people, like I know this is something that I think John likes to do, wants to be able to create a wrestler, you know, and experience the whole journey of going from a relative nobody to a WrestleMania main event type, right?
Yeah.
Some people, in my case, this is more along my lines, and I think Javaris would agree with me on this as well. Some people want to be able to run a wrestling company and hire and fire wrestlers and put together cards and matches and try and make their business as successful as possible. I think that all 3 of those things should be included in the perfect wrestling game. I think that you should have, and really for the perfect, truly perfect wrestling game to exist, copyright law would have to not exist because you would have to
Yes.
be able
Yeah.
to have a huge roster, including pretty much every wrestler in the PWI 500 and then some. I would want to allow people to choose, like John said, any match type they want, including being able to make their own. And I would want people to be able to make their own wrestlers. I think that calls are very important to the community. I think that people being able to basically insert themselves into the game if they want to would be really cool, or be basically able to insert a character that they've made up into the game would be really cool. Especially, again, like kids that would just play with their friends. It's really cool to be able to let them make their own custom character. They could run their own little fucking e-feds through this game. You know, I think it's really cool. Um, as far as the actual gameplay in the ring goes, I really feel like there needs to be more done as far as like being able to have more options than just like the very few that they give you in 2K games. I feel like 2K games are very limited in what you can do in the ring. John, what is Fire Pro like as far as the actual in-ring gameplay?
It's not bad. It's very from the little that I've played of it, because to be honest, I simulate more matches than I actually play. It's like a timing thing. So
Yeah.
the moment you lock up, you've got to hit your button or your combination before the computer does.
Right.
And I think that actually makes it a bit of a challenge, but in a good way. And it makes when you can hit the big moves like all the more satisfying when you do, because it's like, oh man, you know, I've got him now, kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of a time mechanism from my
Interesting.
experience.
I would almost want to treat it like a Super Smash Brothers type game. Obviously, wouldn't have the crazy like, oh, I can jump in midair, stupid shit like that. But like just the idea that like you have a light attack and you have a heavy attack, and like wrestlers do tend to have their little move sets that they use, right? So like The Rock's light attack would be just the straight punch that he does. John Cena, same thing. Maybe the heavy attack for Cena would be a shoulder block, right? Um, you got to have, certain ways to get into an engagement with your opponent so that you can lift them up. And then you have different setups. You can get, the DDT setup, the inverted DDT setup. You can do like a scoop slam setup, a power bomb setup, like all the different types of setups you should be able to choose. And then from that setup, you get a certain type of lift and then a certain type of move where you put them down or make them land on a certain body part or whatever. I think that just needs to be more dynamic in general because, in my opinion, the way that wrestling games are right now, it feels very linear, very forced, and I'm not a big fan of it. Um, as far as the creative superstar mode, John, your idea I think is pretty much nail on the head. You create somebody, they work the indies for a while. Eventually, they might get noticed by an NXT scout. Obviously, unfortunately, they can't be William Regal anymore, but they get noticed by an NXT scout, or I guess I should just say a WWE scout in general. They get, a tryout. You have to pass certain tasks or certain, tests to be able to get that contract, and then you do the performance center, and then you do, I guess it would be NXT level up now would be the next step, and then you go to NXT, and then maybe you get drafted to Raw or SmackDown, and then you work your way up from there, that kind of thing. It's a really long journey, but I would also want people to be able to choose at which point in that journey they start at. Like, I don't think you should be forced to start as a nobody trying to work your way through the indies and make a name for yourself. Like, if you want to skip all that and you want to start as an NXT superstar, I think that you should be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that because I think that's what like if you look at a game, right, like Dark Souls, and I'm even hearing similar things about this new game that's come out, Elden
God.
Ring,
Yeah.
that's getting like a lot of hype around it.
Yep.
I think what turns a lot of people off is like, oh my god, the grind. Like I've got to do all this before I can even really enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I think there should be an option where you're kind of preset with that stuff,
Yep.
and then you could do the main campaign. And then if you really want, but see, here's the thing. I think if you do go the long route, and games are already good about doing this, there should be unlockables and little bits of bonus content that are only for people that take that grinding path. Not that you don't get rewarded for taking the path at all, but I think for those that really start at the beginning, maybe you get hidden attires or hidden arenas or some shit, just to really reward that extra effort, incentivize it.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree. I think if you wanted to start in the middle, that's fine. Hell, if you even wanted to start on the main roster, that's fine. But yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah. And then I would want the GM mode to almost be like the wrestling equivalent of like a game dev tycoon where you're putting together cards and then the cards get a certain reception and you have to pretty much react to that reception with okay, like you get info on like what, maybe you even get decibel info about what matches had the loudest reactions from the crowd, and then you get like a few days later, or maybe even the next day, you get information about like what online circles are saying about the show and the matches, and like, oh, this dude had amazing chemistry with that guy, and oh, I wish they would do this with that guy, and that kind of stuff. And you have to choose what to react to and what to change and what to keep the same, and just hope that it works. And then over time, obviously you're going to be doing business, and I would want for there to basically be a simulation running in the background with all of the other wrestling companies also doing business, so that over time you can legitimately either go out of business or drive other companies out of business and buy them and be able to either build an empire or just fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I would also want something that would basically be like a god mode or like an overseer mode where you are able to control every wrestling company in the game. You can put together the cards you want. You can send people to and from different places. You can have one wrestling company cut someone because you really wanted another wrestling company to sign that person and all this stuff. And it's basically just like you control the Wrestleverse kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So those would be
absolutely.
the main
Absolutely.
features that I would want in the perfect wrestling game.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot, but we're not. The thing is, this is the stupid thing. If we weren't in a literal global capitalist system, this game would happen. This game would be inevitable.
Oh my god, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I feel
But
like it would have
because
existed
we're in
then.
a
Yeah.
global capitalist system, this game becomes impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just never going to happen. But yeah, it would be incredible. It would be a lot of fun. That would be a wrestling game that I would buy. And to add on to that, because we're talking about an impossible wrestling game that would only be able to exist without global capitalism, it would have to be something that would be updated constantly too. You would have to update wrestlers' looks. You would have to update adding actual wrestlers that maybe become more well known that you didn't know about before. You would have to update it, adding maybe new promotions that pop up. Obviously, we've got fucking Control Your Narrative coming up here soon.
God, dude, by the way, just to give you context in case you were wondering like what that was about, because if you notice, like when I sent you Angel's question on Facebook, I had also said that I unsent a message.
Yeah.
The message I unsent because I was way too reactive, and apparently it was just a meme. But I thought that they legitimately signed Patrick fucking Clark to be a part of Control Your Narrative.
Dude, Javaris mentioned that might happen yesterday. We were on a call during Dynamite, and we were talking about different people that could potentially go to Control Your Narrative. And we were talking about like Tessa Blanchard, Jackson Riker, and Javaris brought up Patrick Clark. I was like, oh my god, they might actually. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Apparently, right now it was just a meme. That's why I unsent it to you. I'm not trying.
And then
to
the other two people that I brought up were Brian Kendrick because of the conspiracy theory thing, and then Bo Dallas.
Yeah, that could be. Damn, what a sad fucking promotion. Jesus. Like, this is probably going to be one of the most judgmental things I've said in a minute, and forgive me, but like, I would genuinely feel secondhand embarrassment for anybody in the crowd at one of those shows. Like, that's bad. Like,
well, their whole thing is that they're trying to bring wrestling back to the niche audience that made it popular in the first place.
So, like, your caricature, redneck, racist, stuff like that. Just, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Oh god. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. So that was the last question, right?
Yes.
All right. Wait, what did Bo do wrong? Isn't Bo also kind of a conspirator? I thought.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah, he's a big time conspiracy theorist.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. With that said, guys, thank you so much. I know this is a different Q&A. Next Q&A will be March 31st, so it's the last day of the month. It works out nice, see? So you got plenty of fucking time.
Exactly. Yeah. 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's healthy. That's excellent right there. So yeah, get your questions in. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. Donate $1, you get additional Q&A questions up to 5. If you don't donate, you're only limited to 3 questions. If you donate the $3, you get the additional questions and Discord access. We have a channel in the Discord to receive Q&A questions. You can also submit your Q&A questions on my pinned tweet, which I'm going to update as soon as this video is over. So yeah, Q&A March 31st. Get those questions in, please. We greatly appreciate it. As far as more immediate content goes, we'll see you guys tonight at 8 for Terminus 2 live reactions. Swerve is going to be on the show. Yeah. He's also apparently officially part of AEW, so congratulations to him. So, yeah, I hope Terminus 2 is good because, honestly, I was pretty mad on the first show. I know Ashton was too. But even with Swerve on this one, it's already better because Swerve's on it.
And here's the thing, too. I remember the show not being like, oh, my God, I love this. But I also don't remember the show being difficult to get through. I remember it being fairly easy to get through.
No, it was easy to get through. At times I was bored. I'm like, okay. And I do feel like maybe Gresham might be a bit of a mark for himself. But, like, honestly, compared to other people that have been marks to themselves throughout history, he's not nearly as bad or as noxious. So, yeah, I'm curious how this show's going to pan out. And, guys, I just updated the pinned tweet. So, again, get those questions in. So, yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to you, bro, to formally take us home.
Well, I know you said that's it for you, but I do want your reaction to what I'm posting in the chat right now.
Okay.
Dave Meltzer, I read you the tweet that Meltzer posted last night about how great he heard Starlight Kid versus Osmi was. They both responded to him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Starlight Kid, thank you very much. Our evolution will never stop. I will be #1 in women's professional wrestling. She's doing it, guys. She's doing it. Like, I'm telling you. I used to say this about who was it that I said it about? Maybe no, it was Azumi, and I still say it about Azumi. I think Azumi and Kid both in like 3 to 5 years, they're going to be in that EO territory where they're talking about him as like some of the best wrestlers in the world. Their trajectory is unfucking believable. I'm privileged to see it. So yeah, I'm glad you showed me this.
Get the second one too.
Yeah,
There's another. The Azumi one's there.
yeah.
Too.
There's the Azumi one. Let me read that too. I would love if Azumi was like, I don't give a shit. This makes me very happy from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Yeah, you know what though? That's good. That's good. Because again, I don't like Meltzer, but he is still like kind of a big hub in wrestling, at least quote unquote news wise. So if he started talking about Stardom more, I think that'd be nothing but good for them long term. So
Yep.
good shit. Good shit. Proud of them both.
All right. I guess now's a good time to close this thing out then. I hope that everyone here enjoyed. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, follow us, and that, follow us on Twitter and on Twitch. And if you'd like to support us, you can also subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Spring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. That is right. We are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of the YNTWCs. And we will see you again tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Terminus 2 Electric Boogaloo. No, it's not actually called that, but it is called Terminus 2. And we are getting Swerve on the show. Of course, we're getting Gresham versus Santana from Proud and Powerful on the show. And there's a bunch of other stuff that should probably be good. I'm assuming Jordan Grace is going to be on the show because she is with Gresham. They are an item, and it's his promotion, so I can't imagine her not being on it. And then tomorrow we've got Stardom, and then tomorrow night we'll be reacting to AEW Rampage. So that is and then Saturday we've got even more Stardom. So that's our next few days. We hope that you're all looking forward to it, and most importantly, we hope that you're all able to remember to stay tuned.